Welcome back. This is another edition of LatiNation Football Club, my friends. And we have, as always, a banger of a show. I'm here with Nik Z and our guest of honor, Ashley Niveth. She's a content creator, es una futbolera de corazón, and we're really happy to have you here. How are you, Ashley?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we are happy. Nik, we are going to break down Champions League. We are done with the league phase and straight to the playoffs.
Sure, let me break down all 682 games that happened yesterday. I felt like Tom Cruise in Minority Report with like 20 screens trying to keep up with everything. It was really intense. But yes, as you mentioned, that's kind of the format that they're going for now. They want to make it high octane. They want to make it exciting. Sometimes it can feel like you're just kind of being blasted with a bunch of content. It takes time. I'm still kind of processing everything. Obviously, there was this insane Real Madrid-Benfica game that was just a total stunner until the very last minute. There was a lot of surprises. Barcelona jumping up, right? We're going to talk about that as well. Sneaking into the top 8. Not too many surprises. I think the pack at the top kind of stayed pretty similar throughout these first 8 match days. Arsenal, Bayern doing really great. But Ashley, what surprised you most? Because you were talking earlier, I heard you off camera talking about Real Madrid and Barcelona, so maybe you got your eye on those Spanish clubs.
Yes,
what
of
is
course.
It about those two?
Visca Barça, Barça Catalunya, you know? Barcelona all the way. It's great to hear, you know, and see that Barcelona won last night. What was it, 4-2?
4-1, yeah.
And Real Madrid losing, what was it?
4-2 on the last minute.
4-2 también igual.
Header from goalkeeper.
The goalie.
Exactly. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see that it's campeones de campeones, the best teams. And I love the new format that it's everybody against everybody, and it's not just, you know, between brackets. And so I'm excited to watch that, continue watching that.
So, Ashley, is there any particular players that you are looking forward to see? Anyone from Arsenal, anyone from Barcelona that you think are really going to be critical that their performance is gonna say how far their teams advance?
Of course. I mean, I think a big one is Lamine Yamal. Yeah. So Lamine Yamal, you know, he's very young. He's an exceptional player, and he has to continue doing really, really good, right? And so I'm excited to see him. Y ojalá que gane campeón.
Barcelona.
Yeah, no, obvio.
I don't know. Arsenal is looking pretty strong.
They are.
Arsenal finishing this group stage with every single point
Clean.
possible. Clean.
I mean,
all the points.
Sure.
But look,
you know, I have faith. Faith in my team is what you have. You never know what can happen in football.
Teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid, they know how to
Giants.
win when it matters, right?
Yes.
That's why they have so many of these trophies under their belt. But Nik, who are the teams that you were disappointed to see eliminated from the competition this early?
Oh, okay. I'm going to give an answer you might not really be expecting because I'm going to mention some teams that aren't exactly household names, let's say. I was really pumped, and you know, I traveled all the way halfway across the world to Almaty, Kazakhstan. I had this feeling. I was like, they're going to do amazing. It's their first time in the league. Not the first Kazakh team ever, though. I will say that. But for them, it was a big deal. They were hosting Real Madrid, and I was like, okay, is this going to be like this total black horse kind of Cinderella story? Wasn't the case. They finished very far down. Same with my beloved Paphos FC. I also traveled to Cyprus to not forget all these shameless plugs about my travels.
They did have an exciting season, though. They were in the conversation.
They were close.
Up to the day before the final match day, they were in the qualification area.
And even in their last game against Prague, just here on match day 8, just the other day, again, steamrolling over Prague. So they definitely showed out. But yeah, there's a few squads that just didn't make it. Other household names, Ajax, for example,
Napoli.
but they haven't. Napoli. That's
Napoli. We were talking at the beginning of the season that Napoli was one of those teams that we expected a lot from, that they had a very exciting last season in the Serie A, and now
I will say, if you look at the top 8, there's a very interesting pattern here. 5 of those squads come from one single nation, and they play in one single league, and that's the EPL. So English teams making a name for themselves in this tournament. We talk a lot about the Spanish Giants, rightfully so, right? But also, the English are showing that this might just be their time and their tournament. And Newcastle going on into the 16, the bigger round, they have a chance too. So that's going to be 6 squads from the English Premier League.
Interestingly,
so that's
many of them, they're not having their best season in the Premier League.
Right.
Some of these teams are actually performing really, really well in Champions League and underperforming on the Premier League.
Man City.
Man City against them. Also Newcastle a little bit. Nik, who is your Cinderella story brewing for the next phase of Champions League? We know that we're recording this before the draw for the next stage, but I want to hear from you what team we should be putting some money behind if we would really want to
we're talking
I
money here.
want to
Yes,
get
yes.
some betting in.
Should have led with this. I'm putting my money. If we're not putting our money on the safe bet, if we're feeling spicy, all right, we got a little extra cash we want to throw around, Inter Milano.
Oh,
They showed out last season. They kind of did the same thing. They were kind of floating there. They weren't at the top. They weren't at the bottom, so people are kind of overlooking Inter. But Inter shows that they are a stable, beautiful, technical, cohesive team that can disarm anybody when the time's right, and they're really great under pressure. And we saw that last season. Could be the same thing. They might go even further this time.
now, I know Chiva is not here with us, but we
Sure.
have to acknowledge what's happening with Real Madrid.
Yes.
We have a situation right now with one of, probably the team that is the most related with this tournament.
Yeah.
They've won it the most. They probably have the biggest nights, the biggest Wednesday nights ever come from Real Madrid. But it seems like the magic is gone. Javi had a very short tenure. The player seems to have control, and now they were shown properly by no other than Jose Mourinho. I'm pretty sure that he is so happy right now by giving that simple instruction, sending the keeper, scoring a header, passing on, and sending Real Madrid to the playoffs, al repechaje. Talk to me, what's going on with Madrid?
All this while having the top scorer Mbappe in the Champions League. I mean, it's tough. I think there's a lot of things happening. There is a little bit of a management crisis as well. They need to find their way, but I wouldn't count them out. This is a strong squad that is now going to go into the playoffs with obviously a more difficult path. They're going to have more difficult games because the top 8 obviously don't play each other. The top 8 are going to have to play those bottom 8 squads. So it's going to be tougher for Real Madrid. They're going to be punching above their weight. But if anyone can do that, it's Madrid.
Dios mío.
Now, Ashley, tell me. I know that you have a big group of creator friends.
Yes.
And I want to know what is the temperature out there. Who is the favorite around in the content creating world to win the Champions League?
In the content creator world, it's 50-50 right now. Half of us are Real Madrid, half of them are Real Madrid, and half of us are Barcelona. And it's so funny because every time Barcelona loses, Real Madrid fans are hyped up and everything, and so our content goes off of that, right? But the rivalry still obviously exists, and I want to say that obviously most of us are Barcelona fans, but it's 50-50 to be honest.
Now,
To be sincerely honest.
Barcelona has a hard time. They're going to be sitting pretty, waiting for the results on the playoffs, Nick. Tell Ashley, let's tell Ashley the truth, Nick. On your expert
Lord.
opinion,
All right.
what are
Please
the
give me your expert
probabilities
opinion on the.
for Barcelona to make it as the champion of Champions League?
There has to be a small percentage or a high percentage, whatever it is. There's a percentage there. There's a chance.
Guys,
There's a chance.
It's still Barcelona we're talking about here. It is an extremely good chance. We are still early on. Just like you could do well in your domestic league and not so hot in the Champions League, you can go the other way around. It can also work like that with timing. You can be a little bit slow in the beginning and then kick absolute towards the end as things get real, right? The pressure changes, the temperature changes, the atmosphere changes, the stakes get higher. And Barcelona is just Barcelona. I mean, look at their lineup. Look at the attacking power they have. Look at the defense power. Like, who's going to stop Barcelona? It's a tournament where anything can happen. We saw that last year, and it was great. But that's my point here, right? So just because Barca maybe isn't in the top 3, they're still in the top 8, and it's Barcelona, and that's why we're judging them so hard. It's like, why are they not first? It's like, well, we'll see what happens, right? It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Now, the reality is that yes, there's an overload of games. There's so many games for these players, up to 75 games a year. But also, we have great stories where high-quality teams like Real Madrid go to corners of the world that otherwise they wouldn't visit. And that only promotes the growth of the game. So I think that that's the driving force of many games. And I feel like it's a fair example of which teams are consistently good. But we have to go on a break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to have so much more Liga MX and MLS and what's happening right now in the women's game. We have Ashley here with us. We'll be right back. You're watching LatiNation Football Club.
fear that we had going on. And the players obviously were paid $10,000 to $30,000 per fix. But what this does is it hits at the core of the identity in the sport, especially in the modern day betting era.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, my co-host on Game Time Decisions, Josh Doan, is featured so much. And I also want to say this basically now confirms we are the premier Josh Doan network in all of sports media. No way no other show mentions Josh Doan as much as this one. Is that a success? Is that a failure? I don't know, but I think it's true.
Game Time Decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Meanwhile, Charlie Baker of the NCAA has planted his flag. He wants to see the end of prediction markets, and of course is a little bit nervous with all of the different stories that we've heard surrounding sports betting allegations of some folks being corrupt out there and maybe some point shaving. It does make some sense here. I just wonder which of the sports betting operators are going to stand with the NCAA.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie, and I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So yeah, so that was I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show in.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, my friends. This is LatiNation Football Club, and now I am here con el buen Chiva Mayor, Julio Ramos, and continue with our guest, Ashley. We are going to talk about Liga MX and a little bit of MLS that is gearing for the next season. It's going to be exciting. These two tournaments are very, very special because they are right before the World Cup. New rules for both of them and new players and new signings. So much to talk. Liga MX ya empezó. We've been having, as you guys know, Tigres and Juarez here, home games, very exciting. And as of now, let's talk about the fact that it's crazy that Chivas has won every game and is back to the top
It's not
of
crazy.
Liga MX,
It's very
my
crazy.
friends.
Qué milagro que ha pasado.
No, it's not
eso,
crazy
¿eh?
because Chivas was the best team of the second half of the season last season. The best
Okay.
team. They won all of their games. And right now they started the way they should start, you know, como
9
más
de
grande.
9.
Sí, hermano.
No,
9 de 9.
no, es el más grande, no,
No,
empecemos.
¿cuál es el-
no,
cuál-
no, no.
cuál-
Mira, hasta te traje un regalito.
No, hombre.
Mira lo que,
Cámara, por favor.
Lo que le traje. Mira, este es el equipo más grande de México. Mira, te quedaría muy
A ver,
bonito.
préstamela.
Mira,
Ocupo limpiar mi
mira,
carro.
mira.
Quítame esto que me da alergia. I get allergies with that.
No me va a pelear con ninguno de los dos porque Pumas solo hay uno.
Dios mío,
Híjole,
no.
tenía que salir.
Solo porque tienen más campeonatos que Pumas, no voy a decir mucho, pero vamos, Efraín.
Marcel, but you
Yes.
forgot to say it the right way. We're going to talk about La Gloriosa.
Liga MX, that is right. Now, we see that teams like Toluca are struggling to find shape. Our Tigres also struggling to, have that offensive power that they used to have last season. And unfortunately, America sitting pretty at the bottom of the table,
question.
struggling
How many
to
goals have they
win.
scored?
Mira, no digo que no, sin gol,
¿Qué se siente irle al América right now?
siempre con orgullo. Siempre con orgullo. Con orgullo, arriba el más grande de México. Mira, está empezando un poquito un rough start, vamos a decir, un rough start, pero uno nunca sabe. Uno nunca sabe qué pasa en el fútbol. They can advance later on, so you never know.
That's the beauty of Liga MX. Sorry, Marcel.
Yes.
That's the beauty of Liga MX that you can have a really bad first
Start.
half of the season, and then you close up strong and you make it to the playoffs.
That's the beauty and the curse of Liga MX. Now, you're watching an America game. They're not really functioning. What is it missing from those 2-3 tournaments that America was dominating? What do you see in the team that is lacking right now that they need to bring back to be a winning team again?
You know, I think there's a lot going on. We had a lot of injuries. You know, I don't think we're seeing Club América que vimos hace 2 años que fuimos 3 consecutivos de campeonatos. Defensively, we need some help. We need some help offensively, pero también, you know, with injuries on our team y Jardín.
Yeah.
Jardín.
His job is already
you know?
on the
This
His
is right
job's
here,
on
Marcelino. Excuses,
block.
excuses. You cannot call yourself el más grande de Mexico. Yes, you guys have the most championships, but come on, you know, 0 goals in 3 games. And let me tell you something. They've been clowning Chivas because they have beat Juárez, you know, Querétaro. But America and Pachuca, but America has played almost the same teams, and they haven't even scored 1 single goal. Now, you're right. They come from making the playoffs far away for too many seasons, and I think that's why Spain, you know, les está costando.
Yeah.
Sí.
We're not going to panic, but I do want to talk about some of the signings that are happening. Mis Pumitas, they gave away one of the golden players. Rubalcaba is straight out of CEU, going to MLS. He was signed by the Red Bulls. He's going to play there. And guess what? Pumas takes out $8 million. $8 million for Rubalcaba, and they go get Antuna.
Now, something that we got to mention is that Liga MX and MLS are making a lot of business.
They're making
a lot of
business.
Mexican-American players going to Liga
Here,
MX, living the Mexican dream, which is so beautiful. Even in Chivas. In Chivas, on the starting lineup, we have 4 Mexican-Americans, and that's nice to see you know, for our football here in MLS.
And it's not just the men's, it's also the women's. If you look at, you know, our 2 biggest teams in Futbol Femenil, in Los Tigres y Club América, a lot of the players are from the States. You have a lot of female players that are Latinos que están jugando allá and vice versa, and it's very beautiful to see.
And I know that you're close with the community. A lot of players are grinding their way to have an opportunity.
Sí.
What does it mean for them to have now, to see these opportunities, to see that Mexican teams are actively recruiting players in the U.S., trying to give them that opportunity?
It's motivating. I have a lot of friends, you know, who are playing at the Division I level or, you know, right now in between teams. And it's motivating to them, you know, going to tryouts, going to Mexico, and some of them it's their first time in Mexico, going to Ciudad de Mexico, going to Puebla, Querétaro, like, it's their first time, and it's very emocionante.
Emocionante. Hasta me emocioné de lo emocionante.
No, but I think it's important because we see it often that first we have this pipeline of younger players going and try themselves out. Tony Leone from the academy of LAFC straight to my Pumitas.
Hopefully he gets some playing time.
I hope so. Efrain, you know, is a player that knows what the cantera means, and I'm sure that he as a coach will continue to give opportunities. But it is amazing to see that not only at that level, but at the highest level. Some of the best players like Alejandro Sendejas shining in the you know.
Yeah, ya iba a decir
in the biggest club.
Iba a decir the best.
In the biggest club.
The best.
Payroll one.
En el más ganador. En el más ganador. Hay que decirlo como es.
Now, let's talk about the other side of the equation. MLS, a lot of rumors, a lot of signings. Our good friend Nik Z probably is very happy that Galaxy signed no other than Klaus, the DP for San Luis, a great signing for them. Now they might be slightly more competitive after Ricky Puig re-injured the same knee, and he will be out for the whole season again. We wish him a speedy recovery. The only bad thing about Ricky Puig is that he plays for Galaxy, but otherwise he's a great guy.
It's sad to see a player like him with that quality and making that impact for Galaxy, going through the same injury again. I think it doesn't matter if he plays for Galaxy or not. I think it's very sad to see. But let's talk about una historia de amor.
Okay.
And somebody leaving MLS para jugar con el equipo de sus sueños, el equipo de sus amores. Chicho Arango was just announced. They actually announced him that he was going to be back with San Jose Earthquakes, but now all of a sudden he signed for Atlético Nacional.
His team, his childhood team.
The team that he dreamed of playing with. Now Chicho Arango is leaving the United States to go back to Colombia para jugar con el amor de su vida.
Wow.
Amazing. Those are the stories that we love to hear. Now, what are you excited for the next season of MLS? We have a great game. We're going to have Miami versus LAFC versus Miami.
Oh, I'm excited.
Messi coming to Hollywood. What other things are you really excited for the next tournament?
I'm excited to continue seeing Sun and Boanga together at LAFC, and I'm really hopeful. Again, the word is hopeful, but I think we can make it this year happen. You know, bringing a championship home. Last year, the Whitecaps versus. What was it? Whitecaps versus Seattle?
The Seattle?
But, you know, hopefully we can get this season a win. So
I hope anyone wins but Miami. But my friends, we have to go on a break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, I'm going to be talking with Ashley a little bit more about the women's game and how the game is growing outside of the field. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Well, if you check the FanDuel Sportsbook immediately after the Mets traded for Freddie Peralta, you will find that in the National League East, the New York Mets are plus 160 on the FanDuel Sportsbook to win the East. That's followed by the Philadelphia Phillies at plus 200, and the Atlanta Braves are right there as well. And then, of course, you have the Marlins and then the Nationals after that. The Mets are favored to win the NL East. Buy or sell. The Mets, George, will win the National League East this season. Buy or sell.
So defensively, this team's going to be a nightmare. Pitching, yeah, okay, I like Peralta. I like McClain. But Craig, can McClain go 150, 170, 180 innings? Don't know. We'll see. And they have good depth there. Peterson, Sanger, blah, blah, blah. Everything they go there. Are they going to win it? No. Wow, I'm going to sell this. It's not so much that I'm down on the Mets, but Philly's still a good team. All right? Atlanta, a good team. I think Atlanta is one pitcher short of being that team. All right, and maybe they have a team that gets Gallen or gets Framber Valdez. Even those guys aren't the same they used to be. Atlanta seems to be a number one. Can they be a 4 or 5? Yes. And I think I would like Atlanta a whole bunch here. So it's not a knock on the Mets. I think they're a playoff team. I just don't think they're going to win the division. Small sell.
I am with George. I think that the Braves are being supremely underrated here. Like, this is a team that easily could win the division. Would they make another signing like that? I don't know that they would. Philadelphia's perspective, are the Phillies as good as last year? They don't, Zach Wheeler is gone for now, I guess. Is he okay? Can he pitch? Ranger Suarez, not there. Dallas Garcia, that's the big ad for the Phillies. So I think it's going to be close, but I don't think it'll be the Mets.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Ya estamos de regreso aquí en LatiNation Football Club, and I'm excited to have Ashley with us. Ashley, it is time to talk about the women's game. The growth of the game has been exponential in the last few years, not only in Liga MX, that have been an example of how to put together a professional league, but also in NWSL, that has now the record signing with Trinity Rodman, inking the highest paid contract ever in the women's game. Now, tell me, how exciting this is for you that you work every day in soccer. You put your time as a content creator behind it, but also as a soccer player and as a fan. How exciting is it to see this growth?
It's super exciting for the sport, but also for women's sports, and as a content creator, being able to see other women doing exactly what I'm doing, but at the professional level, right? Both professional soccer players also do content. So it's really exciting to see. Excitement isn't even the word that I want to say. I'm shocked. But it also, like the games. If you go to an ACFC game, because we live in Los Angeles, right? The environment that it has, the la porra, la afición, the ACFC, it's super duper amazing.
They're one of the best in the nation, just as we see that more markets open and we have new teams. Denver is coming into the fall. New York becoming now one of the most powerful teams. They just this weekend lost to Palmeiras in the CONCACAF World Cup, I think it is called, the Club World Cup.
Club World Cup.
And now we see that increasingly the headlines come to the United States. We have great players. We have great players from Liga MX coming to NWSL. What are some of the players that you are really excited about to see in NWSL next season?
Right now, my favorite player is Marta, la Brazilian. I believe it's Silva. Obviously. Oh my God.
Es la más grande, Marta.
Exactamente. Yeah. So I'm excited to see her play. I mean, at 40 years old, she's still playing at a very high level. She's one of the best players, if not the best players, best player.
Ever.
Like 122 goal history. Yeah. So that's what I'm
excited. And this is a critical year
for
her, right?
Yes,
like she came from winning a championship last season with pride, and now next year there's a World Cup in Brazil.
In her hometown. In her hometown.
So I'm guessing that she is really eager to finish this, probably the last 2-3 seasons that she will play, she has an opportunity to
Yes,
live
of
one
course.
final World Cup. How excited will be? Are you planning to go?
I'm planning to go, por favor. I mean, Brazil, is also a place that I would love to visit. But, Brazil won the last World Cup, so how exciting if they are able to do it back to back.
Yeah,
and at hometown,
yes.
like they
That
have a
would be very
homegrown
exciting.
advantage,
Yeah.
yes.
Also, what are some of the Latina players that you like the most when it comes to creating content? As a content creator, who do you say, like, these players really have their point on the vibe?
I think she was already here, but her name is Sky Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Puerto Rican player. Oh my God, I love her. She's funny. She's a great, exceptional soccer player, and she knows her content really well, but I love Sky.
Now, let's talk about a little bit of how it is to create content in the soccer, in the football world. What are the most important things that you need to, if people are watching, say, like, you know what, I want to get started creating content, what are the ABCs?
ABC is watching it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to watch Futbol. But I would say the second thing is learning how to play. I myself, I was a Division I athlete, but for track and field and cross country. So I started playing soccer about a year ago. And you got to learn how to play because a part of the content is playing.
Yeah.
It's playing, but it's also interviewing players, being able to be knowledgeable in that, and making everybody feel comfortable in a video.
I love it, and I am a big fan. You know it. And also, before we finish and wrap up, I want to talk to our viewers about Niveth Futbol Fest, this great event that you put together, and you will continue as a series. Tell me a little bit about it.
So Niveth Futbol Fest, it's really started off as an idea of trying to bring in some of the best soccer players in Los Angeles, because we did it in LA. In a lot of football, right, it's called talacha. Like players that are either in between, already played pro, don't play anymore, or just really, really good, or playing UPSL and kind of in between. And so we brought the best players in Los Angeles, and I wanted to showcase who those players were, but we also combined content creators. So we had Memo Horchata there, who, I completely admire, someone who doesn't matter how much I weigh, I'm gonna go play and I'm gonna try my best and I'm going to showcase my abilities. And so Niveth Futbol Fest, it was a family football fest, and so it was really fun. We hosted the tournament. It was for the community. It was a completely free event. We had free face painting for kids. We had Salud there. Adidas provided the winning team some soccer cleats, and so it was really fun. It was Los Angeles' first rooftop festival, and it's the first one of many.
Yeah.
The second one, we're hoping it's a lot bigger, and we're going to do a Creator World Cup.
Oh,
and so
exciting.
we'll have, Japan, Korea, Mexico, as many teams as we can have, Venezuela, Chile, Colombia, Brazil. So we're excited for the next one.
Ashley, thank you so much for being here with us
Thank you
today.
so much for having
It's a
me.
pleasure. We wish you the best on your endeavors. We're big fans. We were there at Niveth Futbol Fest. We had a great time. And for you at home, be ready, because next week we'll be back with more LatiNation Football Club. I am Marcelino Ortiz, and I'll see you next week.
Giannis Antetokounmpo's next team. Who thought we'd ever be saying that? The guy should be minted in Milwaukee and never want to leave. The only problem is they can't surround him with the talent that he wants. Stays with Milwaukee or retires. He's actually trading at a 71% chance here. The favorite outside of Milwaukee, it's the New York Knicks at 15%.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
Stacking up wins to avoid a brutal matchup path, and when Giannis gets back full burst, they got to get him back on the floor and back on the floor healthy. The Bucks season won't be defined by the game Giannis misses. It'll be defined whether Milwaukee protects him from himself and gets him back in April, if he's still a part of the team.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
ESPN are not going to take shots or criticize him. People on Fox are not going to take shots and criticize him. But McVay had a bad game. Sean Payton had a bad game. And that's just a fact. Like, when they go back and review what took place in key spots of that game, Sean Payton cost the Broncos points and Sean McVay cost the Rams points. Those are the first two people that should be blamed.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.